The road to Backlash has ended. We are finally here after a
Yes.
long couple of months of where we were covering the build up to Backlash 2002. As you can see, this, as I was saying on yesterday's show, this was the first ever home video purchase I ever made for any WWE show, and obviously since then I've gotten a DVD, obviously. But
Sepia tone, Triple H there.
yeah, absolutely. So, Tro, how you doing? And what did you think of Backlash 2002?
Oh, I thought it was a good show and good night. There's my opinion. Bye bye.
Well,
On the road to Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, yes. Our next show, before we get into everything, our next road to will be Judgment Day, not Judgment Day, the very next pay per view,
No.
2002, but Judgment Day 2004. We will go over Eddie Guerrero and JBL. That crazy match. The funny thing, both these pay per views, the one we're doing here and our next one are both first pay per view after drafts. This was
Yep.
the first pay per view after the first ever WWE draft, and for the SmackDown side, Judgment Day '04 was SmackDown's first pay per view after the draft. Obviously, Backlash '04 was the legit first pay per view after the '04 draft, but that was a Raw only show. So we kicked the show off here with obviously they do the promo video, which just hypes up Hogan versus Triple H. We
Both in
have
their own voices.
yes, in their own voices. It was a good intro, I'll say that.
We get a Rock mention. It's like even
Yeah.
after the match, The Rock felt the power of Hulkamania. Where's The Rock
He
now? Scorpion King.
he won the match. I won the fans back. There you go.
I'm still here. Where is he? Making Scorpion King. And I watched some of Heat, and that's literally what half of Heat, which is by the way hosted by Raven and Jonathan Coachman.
Well, this was back in Ravens Heat era.
Raven's Heat era with Coach.
They even said,
Even Big
so
Show, even Big Show had a match on Backlash because it was
yeah,
him against Stevie Richards and Justin Credible.
and I watched that match because this was back in the day where DVD extras would have the Heat match, and so I watched that match today, and it was very quick. It was very quick.
Even Justin Credible has a match on Backlash.
Poor Chris Jericho. That being said, Chris Jericho is not on the card, but he does not have an off day. He is damn sure wrestling tonight. Or excuse me, damn sure working tonight at least.
Yes.
Um oh yeah, and I do want to clear something up because our last show I had the thumbnail of that thumbnail. I thought that was from the tag match on SmackDown because they did a very similar thing where Triple H steps up on does the water spit, and Hogan's literally standing right behind him. Well, it turns out it was from Backlash. I don't.
Um,
Yeah, so
you
I'm gonna
fucked
have
up.
to.
You
I'm gonna.
fucked up.
I'm gonna have to change the thumbnail.
You've
Fuck.
been dropping the ball as of late, Frank. It just comes with age, I guess. I
so
have to retire you soon.
so we open the show with a cruiserweight title match. Oh, before we get to all that too, we're failing to mention one thing. Uh, you and I both huge King of the Hill fans, and we've actually been talking about the upcoming reboot off air for at least our last three shows, and some sad news to come out of the King of the Hill universe as Jonathan Joss, who was the second voice of John Redcorn, was sadly shot and killed yesterday. So rest in peace to him. John Redcorn, a great character. The whole thing with him and Dale. He's Nancy's cheating on Dale with John Redcorn. Does Dale know, or it seems like he's dumb to the whole situation, but everybody thinks like, oh no, he truly knows. He just isn't letting that be known. So yeah, rest in peace to Jonathan Joss. Any thoughts on this situation and thoughts
One of
on
my
the
favorite
John
one of my favorite John Redcorn jokes was they asked him, did your people ever celebrate Thanksgiving? And he just gives a sad, we did once.
one? Yeah. And the sad thing about the John Redcorn character is I didn't even know two guys voiced John Redcorn. The thing is the first actor who voiced John Redcorn actually passed away in a car accident like right after they filmed season 1. So
Yeah.
by the time season 1 started airing, they needed a new voice actor, and they got one in Jonathan Joss before season 2
Well,
began.
we'll see how much of John Redcorn there was actually going to be in the show, because
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see.
we don't know how much he was going to be in the show at all, anyway. So
Yeah. So we open the show cruiserweight title match. Tajiri defending against Billy Kidman. I thought this was a good way to start the show. You know, cruiserweights opening the show is always a good idea. You want to get the crowd into it right away. Want them excited and enjoying the show right away. Funny thing though about this match, so Tajiri retains, but at one point he hits the buzzsaw kick on Billy Kidman, and Billy Kidman kicks out at like 2.5. How does Tajiri win the match just a few seconds later? He's about to get BK bombed by Kidman, and as you know, Kidman's like looking up, about to slam him, and Tajiri hits him with the mist. He blows mist in his face. Kidman goes down. 1, 2, 3. So a kick to the fucking skull can't keep Billy Kidman.
You don't know the power of the mist. Do we have to go through the powers of the mist again? You know, to be fair, if Tajiri wanted to be really crazy, he could have sprayed him with the red mist or the black mist.
It was the red mist. It was a red mist. It wasn't the black mist. It was the red mist. I don't
could have
think
given him the pink mist. You know what that does?
Oh no,
that gets them pregnant.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't know how that would work.
I don't think the black mist came into play until they did it with Nydia. So this would be.
I mean, I feel like that feels like kind of an overpowered mist.
Yeah,
like you just go around all your opponents. Blah blah blah.
He blinded Billy Kidman so well that Billy Kidman couldn't bring his shoulder up.
Yeah. My it burns.
But the match is
you would think in like him writhing in pain, he'd accidentally lift his arm up slightly. Yeah. But he's like, no, I'm just gonna lay on the ground and writhe in pain.
So Tori Wilson is also at ringside. I failed to mention that. Tori is at ringside, still in the geisha outfit. And after the match, Michael Cole comes up to interview Tajiri. We had a couple of post-match interviews early on in the show. Tajiri just yelled in Japanese. They didn't obviously translate any of it, which made it a weird interview. Like, are we gonna translate this, or like what's he saying? But
Cole's like, I speak Japanese. He's saying he's very, very sorry for how he's treated Tori.
No, he wasn't sorry. He wasn't sorry for how he's been treating Tori, because he continuously was treating her very bad and berating her after the match, telling her to walk up the ramp. So heel Tajiri is.
We're getting close to Yakuza Tajiri. I think we get him in October, probably around. Where he gets a Kyo in the other one.
I give this match 3.5 stars. Like I said, it was a good match. What are your thoughts on
good opener?
Yeah,
good opener to get the crowd on the feet.
Now we have Bradshaw and Farouk. The APA reunite.
Oh wow!
And that
didn't take long.
This is going on backstage. Well, this is the first time that the WWE, both Raw and SmackDown Superstars are under one roof since the brand extension, obviously. So Farouk walks up to Bradshaw, who Bradshaw is literally at Gorilla. You can see the curtain right in front of them as they're talking to each other. So Farouk, hugs Bradshaw. They talk a little, and then the NWO's theme hits, which the NWO's theme is dubbed on the DVD. So kind of funny when that happens. The NWO theme hits, and it stops Bradshaw mid sentence, and then Bradshaw just looks at Farouk and says, "You saw what them NWO some bitches did to our locker room, or our their door, right? The APA door last Monday on Raw." Farouk says, "Yes, he saw it." And Bradshaw said, "Well, I'm gonna make sure they don't do anything like that ever again." And Farouk's like, "Yeah, go handle business." So Bradshaw heads off, and that's the end of that. But then we head to the ring with Scott Hall and X Pac walking to the ring. X Pac is still wearing Kane's mask, and I think that Farouk may have offered his hand to Bradshaw, a little help from Bradshaw, but Bradshaw may have just said, "No, I appreciate it, but I don't need your help. Kane's coming back,
Yeah,
He may
he's
be
down, but
down.
not out.
He's down, but not out."
Where's Kevin Nash in all this, by the way?
Well, wasn't Kevin Nash suspended? Remember?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I know it's been a while since we've covered the early portion of the road to Backlash.
Well, because I know Big Show's literally about to join the NWO either the next night or the following week. So I know when they're getting close to the part where they just start adding a few members, and HBK's there and Booker T's there for some reason, and then Scott Hall's no longer there because he gets fired, and Xbox is not there because he sucks.
Yeah, Scott Hall got fired, legitimately storyline wise, by a guy in Ric Flair who did much, not much,
worse on that plane alone.
He did about as bad on that plane as Scott Hall did. So that's always
you are an alcoholic, and you suck. If the one thing I hate the most is alcoholics. I'm sober. I would never drink in my life.
Yeah, that's
Scott Hall. Go kill yourself. You know what? Go hang out with DDP.
Yeah, that's always been one of the craziest parts of the plane ride from hell. But Ric Flair was a made man, so they're not going to fire him. Sadly, Scott Hall wasn't a made man, so
no,
he took the brunt of the whole plane ride from hell.
Him and Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, as I was going to say, as did Kurt Hennig. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, Scott Hall and X Pac come out. X Pac is in Kane's mask, still. Who again he's down but not out.
But he'll be back.
We'll see him in about 4 months, but he's down but not out.
He's down but not out. Their locker room was down but not out.
Yeah. So then Bradshaw comes out, and this match is Scott Hall versus Bradshaw. So as Bradshaw comes to the ring, the X Pac and Hall kind of start measuring them up like they're going to double team them, and that's when the APA music hits. And Farouk, who I thought would be in a match against Test on this show, comes out, and Farouk is in the corner of Bradshaw here. So we get a mini APA reunion, both of them in the ring at the same time here for the first time since the brand extension. And I wouldn't say this was a great match, but I thought it was decent. Crowd was into it. They were big on the APA reuniting here, and they wanted to see Scott Hall and them NWO, some bitches, as Bradshaw called them,
bitches,
get their asses whooped. That did not happen, though, because Scott Hall gets the win with a roll-up, putting his feet on the ropes. Again, I don't think it was a bad match by any means. I thought it was decent. I give it 2.5 stars. Tro, your thoughts on Scott Hall versus Bradshaw?
Scott Hall versus Bradshaw. I thought it was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad either, though. So it's kind of like the middle of the road where it's kind of a time waster. But
Yeah.
you would expect that NWO, who were made such a big deal before, to
Yeah.
have a bigger match than Bradshaw. Nothing against Bradshaw, but
Right.
you'd think they want to maybe fuck with Hulk Hogan a little bit too.
Yeah.
They're
We
just
have
kind of ignoring him.
yeah. We have Mr. McMahon walking into Flair's office and essentially telling Ric Flair that he's having a difficult job having to deal with Austin and Undertaker and the NWO and everything he's had to deal with. Mr. McMahon feels that Ric Flair's starting to not do too well. It's been difficult for him being the being the owner on what used to be Mr. McMahon's show, Monday Night Raw. What do you think about this little segment here with McMahon just sort of rubbing Ric Flair's issues in right to his face?
Well, it's just Vince trying to antagonize Rick, and in the end, Vince is proven right.
Right.
Not tonight, but like down the line, he's proven right that Rick's
Exactly.
just Rick gets too pissed off eventually.
Yeah. Now we have the women's title match as Trish Stratus is challenging Jazz for the women's title. And before that, Molly Holly comes out right after right after Trish Stratus's entrance and says the WWF at this point. This is, by the way, the final pay per view under the WWF banner. She says that WWF would rather have their women's champion be pure and wholesome like she is.
I
And
agree.
she says that the fans would not want their women's champion to flaunt her body around. To which
Exactly.
Jerry Lawler says, "Now wait a minute." So
Wait a
a
minute.
good little promo there by Molly Holly, the virtuous one. She then attacks Trish and throws her. They brawl on the outside a little bit. She throws Trish into the steel steps, and that is when Jazz comes out, and this match gets started. And
It's dragons.
in the end, Jazz gets the win. Uh, a decent title, a decent women's title match here. I give it 2.5. Very similar rating to same rating to Bradshaw and Scott Hall. Your thoughts on Jazz retaining the women's title here against
Quick,
Trish?
quick little women's match.
Yeah,
Jazz is pretty good, and Trish started coming to her own. So coming together.
yeah. So after the match, again, like I said, we had a couple of post-match interviews. Here we get Mark Lloyd, who we saw on SmackDown last week, involved in the Mark Henry car lifting segment. Mark Lloyd interviews Jazz, asks her how it feels to retain the title, and Jazz wants nothing of it. She stands there and just stares at Mark Lloyd before leaving. Now we get a clip of Raw last week, our last show we just covered yesterday, where Paul Heyman was playing along with Lita Thong while also telling her that the choice of if Brock Lesnar will play nice or rough with her boyfriend Matt Hardy is up to her. She obviously just she slaps Paul Heyman, tells him to get out of the locker room, and then later in the night, Matt Hardy gets F5'd on the steel steps. And that is what is leading to our next match, Brock Lesnar taking on Jeff Hardy in Brock Lesnar's pay-per-view, not his pay-per-view debut, excuse me, his WWE debut, his first match ever. And well, before that, Paul Heyman hypes up Brock Lesnar. Obviously, he's calling him, you're the next big thing, and Jeff Hardy stands no chance for you
You're
tonight.
the next big thing. Here comes the pain. Shut your mouth. Just bring it.
So now Brock Lesnar versus Jeff Hardy. This was a really good match. Not a really good match, but a good match for what it was. Uh, Brock Lesnar just pretty much destroyed Jeff Hardy. Paul Heyman on the outside was great, man. It's all Lita's fault. This is on you. Yeah, Paul Heyman always great like that. Brock, again, like I said, Jeff Hardy got like one little run of offense in just to get the crowd into it a little bit. But in the end, this was all Brock Lesnar because obviously they're trying to build him. There's a reason they call him the next big thing. They're literally trying to build him as the next big thing. And spoiler alert, he
He
really is
is.
the next big thing. Yes.
He's gone from the company within 2 years.
Yeah, he's also gone.
He's gone.
Well, yeah, he's so quickly gone from the company that our next road to Judgment Day 04, he will not be a part of that.
He
In
doesn't
fact,
even exist.
that will be the first SmackDown pay-per-view after he left, which he was on SmackDown when he left. So he more than likely, unless maybe he would have been drafted, who knows? Maybe he would have been drafted to Raw. But I doubt that.
Every reference to Brock Lesnar erased.
So yeah, Brock gets the win. He actually gets the win by referee stoppage. He beat the hell out of
Never
Jeff
see
Hardy.
that.
Yeah, he beat the hell out of Jeff Hardy so much that the referee stopped it. I thought it was a good match for what it was. It wasn't about to be a back and forth 5-star match. We knew that wasn't going to happen. So yeah, 3 stars for me. Brock getting the win in his WWE debut over Jeff Hardy. Tro, your thoughts?
Jeff just getting his ass kicked. Hey, Jeff, here's your assignment for the night. Yeah? Get your ass kicked. Get your ass kicked by Brock Lesnar. Shit. Why can't Matt do this?
Well,
Oh, well, Matt's hurt. Don't worry. We'll give you a title match of Undertaker in July.
well, yeah, that match, one of the biggest matches of his career.
Yeah, he did absolutely jack shit afterwards.
Well, I don't know about that. Now we have a quick little promo commercial for the Forcible Entry CD. Do you have that CD, Forcible Entry?
No.
Well, I don't have it either. I do have a couple of the I have the anthology. The anthology set is really good.
I can bring it up.
Yeah.
Got copyright straight on. So,
Well, don't play any of the music. You'll get
obviously,
yeah.
I have everything muted.
I know that Benoit's theme was on it. Lita's theme was on it.
So we got the drowning pool game.
Yeah.
Drowning, like time to play.
Yeah, because they performed that at Mania, and this came out.
This is really crazy. We got legs by for Stacy Keibler's themes by Kid Rock.
She definitely has legs.
Yeah, Young Boy Grow Old by Creed.
That's I don't know whose theme that is.
I don't know. It doesn't even have to say. I think it just said, "Hey." Yeah, I think they just said, "Hey guys, we kept on playing you guys after 9/11. Want to do a song for us?"
I think that's the Backlash theme, actually. I think
Maybe.
that was Creed. I was hearing the song the whole show. And it's on the DVD menu and played throughout the. I think that Creed was the Backlash theme. I'm pretty sure of that.
We got Glass Shatters, Disturbed. Awesome Disturbed theme.
I was going to say, I wonder whose theme that is.
It could be anybody. We got Rolled In. Who would that be? Undertaker's Limp Bizkit theme.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah.
Let's see. This is we got the best Edge theme. Never gonna stop me. Never gonna stop. Yeah, my Durango, number 95. We got One of a Kind by Breaking Point, RVD's theme.
RVD, yep.
For some reason, we get the WWF mix of the Beautiful People. I didn't know they could just license Marilyn Manson's song and say, let's change a few things here. Call it WWE thing. We got Across the Nation.
Oh, best Raw theme ever. Best Raw.
We got a different version of Chris Jericho's "Break the Walls Down" by Seven Dust.
Okay.
One of the Goldust Brothers. And
Yeah.
that's just Goldust music
Isn't that
alter ego.
isn't that his WCW persona Seven Dust?
No, he was just seven. He was a guy in a
Oh.
white mask, and then he cut a promo saying, "This gimmick sucks." Turn the tables by Saliva. Dudley Boys.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Live for the Moment. The Hardy Boys by Monster.
Hmm.
It feels like Matt Hardy's old theme. I have to listen to it because that was his whole theme. Like, I'll live for the moment.
Yeah.
Um, End of Everything by Raven's theme.
Hmm.
Ride of Your Life.
Oh, that's King of the Ring. King of the
Oh,
Ring
okay.
theme. Yeah. For
Just Another Victim by Cypress Hill.
Taz.
No Chance by Dope.
Dope.
Dope. Love, Furry, Passionate Energy. Lita's theme by Boy Hits
Boys and
Car.
yeah, boy hits car.
But
One of
here's
the
the big one.
funniest name total run.
Slow Chemical by Figure 11.
Ah, yes.
There
Slow
you
Camel.
go.
Nice. Great
And they
song.
barely used any of these outside of a few of these themes on this album.
So next we have the little promo package, video package for Edge and Kurt Angle, and that follows up Edge taking on Kurt. That's followed up by Edge taking on Kurt Angle, and this was one of the better matches of the night. Edge and Kurt Angle just went back and forth, fast paced action, a really fun match. Crowd was hanging on their every move. And at one point, bit of a funny moment where Kurt Angle grabbed a steel chair, was gonna hit Edge with the chair. He hits Edge moves out of the way. He hits the chair, hits the ropes, and bangs back on Kurt Angle. That was for me the first time I had ever seen that, and when I first saw it, obviously, and
Yep.
it was fucking hilarious. So that was a
Well,
cool moment. 4.5 stars for this match, in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
really good match. Kurt and Edge have such a good chemistry.
Yeah.
They're both around their peaks around here in ring wise. So
Yes.
it just they're so good.
I also have to mention after the match, the when Angle's theme was playing, crowd chanting "You suck," and Angle said, "I don't suck, I won." So obviously
That's
continuing
good
with
logic.
obviously, yeah. Let's see. Oh, so now WWF New York. We go
Oh
to the
wow.
world. We haven't seen the world in a
Yes, sir.
while.
This is the
They
first time we've seen the world.
in this
Well, no,
world.
hold on. WWF in New York and the world are totally different things.
It was still called WWF New York at this point, but it's still the same place. It is the world is WWF New York. It becomes the world after the name change,
Are
obviously.
they chanting USA here?
No, I don't.
Damn.
I don't believe so. They are asking the fans questions for a certain question, and it is Taz who is there to set up the video of the fans being asked the question. Taz tells us that earlier tonight they asked the fans who will win Hogan versus Triple H, the main event, and this was so funny. This was literally done just to make it like the fans are split. They love Triple H. They love Hogan. This is literally so they cut from one fan answering to the next fan answering to the next fan answering to the next fan. It was like 4 or 5 fans, or maybe even more than that. Somewhere around 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7. This is literally the way it went. First person says Hogan's gonna win. Second person says Triple H is gonna win. Third person says Hogan's gonna win. Fourth person says Triple H is gonna win. Fifth person says Hogan's gonna win. Sixth person says Triple H is gonna win. That was literally why they did that, just to tell the story that the fans are split here. There's half the fans love Hogan, the other half loves Triple H. Obviously, it's babyface versus babyface for the title, so that's why they're doing that here. But it was a funny. It was just a funny segment to see. Like first person says Hogan, next person says Triple H, next person says Hogan.
Hogan, Triple H, Hogan, Triple H.
Exactly. Now, Chris Jericho, like I said, he's not on the card, but it's not a day off for him. He's got a segment coming up here, and this ain't even going to be the last time we see him. Chris Jericho comes to the ring. He essentially rants about what he's been ranting about. He says, I was in the main event of WrestleMania just a month ago. Just a month ago. I was the first ever undisputed champion. And what am I doing at Backlash? Nothing. Billy Kidman has a match. Trish Stratus has a match. Obviously Trish Stratus has a match. I mean, look at her. Look at Trish Stratus and look at Chris Jericho. I mean, come on. And then he says, even Maven has a match. The funny line that we have been saying throughout this whole build up, the whole
even Just Incredible has a match.
He did not mention Just Incredible. He didn't care about the Heat match. I don't think he wanted the Heat match.
I don't think he watched. Man, the fuck do you mean Just Incredible? Big Show, this was a 2-on-1. Yeah, why didn't you call me, buddy?
Yeah. So this is essentially just Jericho. They first off, they wanted to have him on the show in some fashion. Obviously, he's not wrestling, but he's still one of the bigger stars in the company right now. So obviously, they're going to do something. And what they did was put him bitching about not being on the card, which for his character was perfect. And this was a great segment. What do you think about it?
Nice little time wasting segment here with Jericho. Yeah. I mean, Jericho's not wrong. He has every right to be pissed off. Yeah. Where did Jericho from here goes on to do the Hell in a Cell next month?
Yes, Hell in a
Cell. I don't know what he does at King of the Ring.
King of the Ring, he takes on RVD in the opening match, which was a qualifier, not a qualifier. It was winner moves on to the final.
Yeah. And then he faces Cena at Vengeance.
Yes, Vengeance. Cena's pay-per-view debut.
I don't know what he does at SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, he faces Flair. Unforgiven, he faces Flair. Yeah. Survivor, he's in the first ever elimination match. No Mercy, he's in a tag match against Booker and Goldust with Christian. Christian and Jericho at that point are tag champs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right when it starts.
That is the match where the rope breaks when Jericho's just about to hit the line. So he goes for the line, so jumps on the middle rope, and the rope breaks on him. And then at Armageddon, like I said, there was
Battle of the Sexes.
No. You're thinking a year later. I talked about this on our last Raw review because that was the show where Booker T and Goldust, their tag team starts. Yeah. The tag team fatal 4-way tag team match for the tag team titles. Jericho and Christian are still the tag champs going into that match, and that is where Booker T and Goldust win tag titles. So we just went over Chris Jericho's whole 2002. After
I was just trying to remember what the hell he did after Judgment Day.
I mean, you want to talk about 2002 WWE? I'm your guy. Come on. Even though I totally forgot where the Hogan and Triple H.
Yeah, you're getting your baseball years mixed up. You're getting your pictures mixed up. I'm gonna have to make sure that you're watching the actual 2004 SmackDowns, not 2014 SmackDowns.
Oh well, you don't got to worry about that. You know,
you're gonna be like, why the hell is Daniel Bryan? Where is Daniel Bryan? What do you mean he's hurt?
You ain't got to worry about that. You know, I ain't about to turn on no 2014.
You're gonna be watching 2014 SmackDown like, what do you mean there's no Judgment Day? They got rid of it? What?
Yeah, I love 2004 SmackDown. That's why I cannot wait to go over that show, get through that Road 2. And how's about this? You want to start the Road 2 tomorrow?
If not, no, actually, I got it again
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay, so Wednesday?
Wednesday should be good.
Okay, perfect. There you go. We will be kicking off the Road to Judgment Day 2004 on Wednesday when we will do the first SmackDown after WrestleMania 20. That
Yep.
starts the road
And I do
to.
have a show in mind for my next road to after your next road to.
Good. So we both have a show in mind. We're not going to reveal that on live
Until the
yet
end.
because not until we get through Judgment Day. So Undertaker. Well, first it's Ric Flair with Arn Anderson backstage, and under in Flair's office, and Undertaker walks in and just stares down Ric Flair, trying to intimidate him. Ric Flair doesn't back down. Obviously, good little segment there, building up to the number one contenders match later on. Now we have Intercontinental title match, Frog Splash versus Frog Splash. Rob Van Dam is your champion, taking on Eddie Guerrero, taking on D'Lo Brown. Who does the better Frog Splash? Obviously, no D'Lo Brown here. It's just RVD versus
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero. This is a good match. Both of their matches here, they have a match at Judgment Day next month that opens the show. Both of these pretty good, and I could say the same for Edge and Kurt Angle because Edge and Kurt Angle just had a great match. They face each other again next month at Judgment Day. Great match as well. That was the infamous hair versus hair match where Edge brought a whole bunch of helmets, hockey goalie masks for every team thinking that he was about to get his head shaved, and then found out that no, it's going to be Kurt Angle. So he was very happy about that. Um, so yeah, RVD Eddie Guerrero, good match. They did the obviously Jr. and Lawler went back and forth about the frog splash. At the beginning of the match, Lawler was like, "Well, who's the first person you ever saw do the frog splash?" And Jr. said, "Well, that'd be D'Lo Brown." Like I said, WWE had to get theirs in, saying bringing up the WWE Frog Splash because obviously Eddie Guerrero started doing the Frog Splash long before he got to WWE, and so did RVD. So WWE got theirs in by
Nope, it
saying
was D'Lo
D'Lo.
Brown.
Yeah, they said D'Lo was the
They
first to
stole it
do
from D'Lo.
it. Eddie Guerrero though wins this match. I give it 3.5 stars. It was a fun match. What are your thoughts on Eddie Guerrero versus RVD Frog Splash versus Frog Splash?
Very good match. RVD and Eddie have such good chemistry, and it
Yeah.
leads up to their ladder match in a couple weeks
Yes.
for the IC
Uh,
title.
Now we have the video package bit of the build up to the number one contenders match of Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and obviously Ric Flair is involved here, and that's where we get to the match itself. Number one contenders match for the undisputed title. Winner faces the winner of Triple H and Hulk Hogan next month at Judgment Day. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Undertaker, and I don't think this was as bad as most people say it was. It wasn't a great match by any
Yeah.
means, but it
So,
was okay. Um,
so here's the problem with Undertaker and Austin. For
yeah.
whatever reason, they do not have chemistry with each other,
Mhm.
and I don't get it. I mean, they've had enough matches, and not all the matches are bad. And I'm not saying this match is bad,
Mhm.
but for some reason, when they work together, it just never goes as good as it possibly could. Now, in this occasion, there's the part of Austin, there's partly a kind of Austin just not giving a fuck and being frustrated so much.
Maybe.
So that plays a part in it. And the other part is Undertaker trying to carry Austin to this through this match. He doesn't really give a shit.
Right. I will say one thing that really hurt the match was Ric Flair counting slow. It kind of hurt it a little bit for me. He was,
He's an old man. Come
yeah.
on. One. Woo! Does a flare flop. Two.
I wonder if Ric Flair was doing a homage to the New Japan referee too, because Flair was wearing red shoes for this
Ooh.
match. I wonder if that was a little paying homage to the referee. I'm not sure who that is. I know there's a New Japan ref who
I think
wears
they
red
just call.
shoes.
I think they just call it red shoes.
Yeah, they do. They call him Red Shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know what his real name is though. Um, yeah, but in the end, Undertaker gets pinfall victory. Flair's out of position as he's counting. Austin put his foot on the rope. Undertaker just took the foot away. Flair kept counting. Undertaker gets the win. He is on his way to WrestleMania. I'm gonna give this, I'll say,
Uh,
2.5. It was a decent match for what it was.
he's on his way to what?
Oh, I said WrestleMania. My bad. He's on his match
He's
to.
on
He's
his
on his way
way to
to Judgment Day.
WrestleMania, not
He,
Judgment Day. So that means that at WrestleMania 19, we're gonna have Undertaker against whoever wins tonight. Book it.
he's on his way to Judgment Day. So after the match, Jonathan Coachman catches up with Ric Flair backstage and is like, "What do you have to say about the mistake you made?" Ric Flair's like, "What are you talking about?" And that's when they run the footage, and Ric Flair sees the mistake he makes, and all he can say is, "Shit."
Now, why did Coach do this to the referee who didn't see the green mist,
Good, the red mist, but yeah, good
red
point.
mist?
Good point.
Hey, referee, how's it feel the fuck up? Shit.
um.
Look, at
So
the end of the day, Austin screwed Austin.
yeah. So thoughts on Undertaker versus Austin here?
Meh. Well, I think it was the
Um.
longest match of the night, so that didn't help either. So
Yeah. Yeah. So cool down match. Although there wasn't
you
much
say
cool
cool
down.
down, but I say amazing.
Well, that's because you were there. This was your match
Obviously,
on the pay per view. Uh, Billy and Chuck with Rico and Tro taking on Al Snow and Maven. Billy and Chuck are your tag team champions, and this match is for the titles. Not much to say about this. Obviously, Billy and Chuck retain. You're not going to put the tag belts on Al Snow and Maven as as Tro loses connection there. But yeah, this was just a cool down match. Even though again, the crowd did get into Austin and Undertaker at some points, but I doubt there was really a need for them to cool down coming off that match.
sorry, I was getting ready for my match.
Hey, the undisputed title, that beautiful, beautiful belt.
You
I
mean the belt
love
that
it.
I own? My belt.
Uh, I love that belt.
I
It's
defended it in this tag team title match, obviously.
well, I'll explain what happens to you in this match in a moment.
Well, don't you know? Don't you think I already know what happened to me?
You were there, yeah. You know what happened.
We put
This
you through a
was
table.
no. This was building up to months. This was building up months, heading going all the way back to the draft, where we saw your reaction with Billy and Chuck and Rico. You guys were all celebrating together when Billy and Chuck were drafted to SmackDown, which sent you and Rico as well to SmackDown. And ever since then, you have tried to get involved in Billy and Chuck matches, and it's led to you getting power bombed through burning tables, flaming tables all the time. So Billy and Chuck retain the titles here, but after the match, Tro gets up on the top turnbuckle, about to jump on Maven to when that's when Al Snow slides into the ring, throws three tables in, stacks them all up on each other, sets them all on fire. Maven then runs over to the turnbuckle, gets up on top, and power bombs Tro through three burning tables. What a way to culminate that storyline.
And I kick
Tro
out at one,
Tro powerbomb through three flaming tables.
and I still kick out at one.
And this would be the last time we would ever see Tro, as Billy, Chuck, and Rico would move on without him after Backlash here.
Yeah, written off.
The match itself, even Maven
I'm down, but I'm not out.
he's down, but even Maven has a match, but it
Did he
definitely
win?
wasn't.
He
He did not, but it definitely wasn't one of the better matches in that. I give this 1 star. It was a cool down match for what it exactly. It wasn't going to be anything special. Tro, what were your thoughts on the match that was
Main event of Maven.
your final appearance in WWE television?
It was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, not much to say about that. Main event time. HHH versus HHH. Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus Triple H for that beautiful belt. Show that beautiful belt one more time. For this belt right there, the greatest belt in WWE history. They need to bring it back.
That's not a spinner belt.
The undisputed. You're damn right. It's not the spinner belt. The greatest.
No,
belt
that's
of all time.
the spinner belt's the best.
No. Undisputed title, Triple H, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, as one fan who had a sign right behind the announce table showed HHH versus HHH for the Undisputed title here. Bit of a dream match, first time ever. And it was a damn good match. We saw interference from Chris Jericho. Like I said, that was he did a lot of stuff for somebody who did not have a match. He interfered, tried to cost Hulk Hogan the title. Triple H wasn't having any of it. Not too long after that, Triple H is about to pin Hogan, and that is when Undertaker runs down, knocks the referee down from outside the ring. He just like stiff arms the referee, knocking him down so he can't pin him, so he can't count the pin, and he goes in the ring, beats down Triple H, and rolls Hulk Hogan on the Triple H, and that is when Hulk Hogan gets up, starts hulking up. He doesn't need the Undertaker's help, and he makes quick work of Undertaker, ends up hitting the big boot, dropping the leg on Triple H for the pin 1, 2, 3. And by the way, during all that, Triple H, Undertaker actually hit Triple H in the head with the chair. This was a great story of, the not only a first time ever between two of the biggest names in WWE history, but also the story of Hulk Hogan getting one final run. And, the fans were into it. The fans wanted to see it happen. And it did. Hogan got the win. And it'll be Hogan and Undertaker at Judgment Day for the title. And afterwards, after
a horrible match.
One of the worst looking chokeslams you've ever seen.
Oh, you got me, brother.
After the match, Hulk Hogan is celebrating. Triple H gets up. He is bloodied.
Bloodied his face. He's got blood under his eyes.
Yep. And he looks furious again, this was from the chair shot by Undertaker. But he shakes Hogan's hand. They do the posing together, and that is how we go off the air. My feelings on this title match, like I said, I enjoyed the Hogan's one final run. I give this match of the night 4.5 stars. Edge and Kurt Angle, tremendous. It is 1B to Hogan and Triple H 1A. You can make the case for both matches. I personally pick Hogan and Triple H. Overall, first off, your thoughts on Hogan versus Triple H?
I mean, it was booked in a way to protect Hogan, but it was very, very overbooked, in my opinion. You probably didn't need Jericho to come out there. Taker was kind of enough, but it's whatever. Obviously, Hogan's gonna win here, and for some reason, Triple H, who later this year put Shawn Michaels through a freaking car window here, isn't willing to pedigree this guy who just kind of screwed him out of the title. Because not for nothing, Hogan did take advantage of the damage that Triple H Taker did. So
He had no choice. I mean, what was he
Well,
gonna
he could
do?
have picked him up and hit him with a big boot. Then
um. So see, everybody complains about interference. I have no problem with interference. It's part of.
eh,
It's part of
that's the main
continuing.
event.
It doesn't matter if it's the main event. It's part of continuing stories and creating new stories.
So
This
hold on
was.
a second.
Go ahead.
Now let's say a rapper. Let's say a rapper came out here in the main event and interfered and helped Hogan win. Then what?
What story would that be telling? That's a problem. I don't understand what story that would be telling.
Well, let's
Is
just say
this
his name.
AEW?
Let's just say his name was Travis Scott, and
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
he
I know about
interferes in
this.
the main event of a pay per view match and helps somebody win.
Yeah, I knew somebody did that recently. I forgot that that's what it was. Yeah, Travis
Fiend,
Scott.
fiend, fiend,
Travis
fiend.
Travis Scott interfered and apparently injured Cody Rhodes too. He was a little overexcited,
Oh no, he also
overzealous.
interviewed at WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
the main event.
Mm,
I still have his fucking song stuck in my head.
yeah. But yeah, the interference is here with Undertaker interfering, and the scene too. I failed to mention is the great scene as Undertaker is walking to the back. He's got this evil smirk on his face as his plan worked. He did not want to face Triple H for whatever reason. He wanted Hogan, and he had that evil grin on his face as he got what he wanted. I thought that was a great shot too. But the interference again, this is kicking off the angle with Hogan and Undertaker. I have no problem with that, and you're continuing Jericho's feud with Chris Jericho. Jericho's feud with Triple H, which even though did not take place on this pay-per-view, was still continuing from WrestleMania. Chris Jericho literally had nobody to feud with on this show, as we know. And they're just setting up Hell in the Cell there. That's what that's leading to. I do want to say before we get to overalls, and I always share this. Obviously, I share the link to the YouTube video for anybody to watch on my
We had at
Facebook.
least 3 people I checked last I checked.
Oh yeah, we've had a couple of people that have tuned in. We got the nobody's watching right now, but
Yeah.
we've had a couple. At one point, we had like 4 views, which is not great, but for us, 4 viewers at the same time is
For
pretty
four
damn.
four of us is like 400.
Yeah, but I share this on on my Facebook page a lot, and anytime any friends, Facebook friends, comes in and maybe wants to say how they felt, I try to maybe read it online, and I actually got 2 comments from Facebook friends in part of the show about the show when I posted this earlier today. Max, who is a fellow Met fan, shout out to Max. He says show was meh. And then we have Do It, who is actually a Yankee fan. He says a fine show, honestly. So shout out to them for leaving their comments. Hopefully, maybe they tuned in. I don't know, but that's up to them. If they did, we appreciate it. But thank you to them for leaving their comments. Anytime Facebook friends will leave comments on me sharing the link to whatever show, if the comment has to do with their feelings on the show, I'll read them on air here. But overall rating, I say, oh, out of 10, obviously. I say 8.5 out of 10. This was a really good show. I loved it. I loved Hogan versus Triple H. He had Edge and Kurt Angle. That was a great match. Um, Triple H, excuse me, Eddie Guerrero and RVD had a solid match. Kicked off with a great cruiserweight title match, and of
Yeah,
course Jericho's little promo was great too. I enjoyed the show. I thought it was really good. And again, like I said, this was my first home
yeah.
video release. I love the show, but I know you want to say so. Go ahead,
You
give your.
you did forget to mention one of the comments from your Facebook friends on your post.
I didn't see another one. Where?
Check.
I literally just. Did you just sleep? Oh, you just left it. Tro says, "Meh."
Meh.
You
That,
just.
that true.
I'm thinking like you left the comment like hours ago, and I'm like, how did I not see it? It said just now. So
That's
there
why
you
I
go,
was on my phone quickly.
Tro, viewer of the show says amen.
That's how I get out of reviewing all these shows. I just leave my
That
comments
is,
there.
yeah, that is literally how you got on this show. One day, you commented when I shared whichever video me and Christian were gonna do that day. You was like, anytime you guys
You
do
do
a
an oh
show,
06 show.
yeah, you said '06 or like '08, and as I'm reading that, I'm like, yeah, good luck on the
Yeah,
good
good.
luck on
Like
'08.
we'll ever do that.
Yeah. And he's like, anytime you guys do '06 through '08, let me know. And anytime somebody asks if I'm Facebook friends, if I've been Facebook friends with you long enough, or if I know you in a Facebook group long enough, if you ask to come on, I'll try to get you on. Ain't no doubt about that. And Tro, when you came on, I didn't know it would end up turning into what it's turned into. You're doing more than '06 through '08 now. And if
And
you
it's
want to
fun.
if you want to do '07 and '08, you gotta go hit up Christian for that. But like I
Either that
said,
or just do solo shows.
yeah, or you can absolutely do solo shows if you want.
See how
Nobody's
little those
keeping.
get.
Yeah.
those random
Hey,
ass Raws.
I mean, I'll if you gotta let me know if
July
you're doing
4th
it.
Raw
You got
2006.
you gotta let me know if you're doing it, and I'll link it and try to share it as much as I can when you do it. But like I told you a couple days ago, the 1 year I'm willing to jump off on being my cutoff years, which is after '05. Anything WWE after '05 is '06. So one day we will definitely do road twos in 2006 for 2006. But yeah, it's crazy how a long time ago you were like, hey, when you guys do '06 or '08, let me know. And now you're here, and
Oh,
we're doing more than '06. We're doing much better shows than '06 or '08.
so my match of the night is Kurt Edge. Uh,
Okay. Overall,
Overall, 7 out of 10.
okay. So there you go.
Do we announce the because this is the end of this road too? We have one road two ahead. Do we announce yours or mine?
We don't announce any till Judgment Day. Remember, we lock when we have both of our road twos locked in. When we have two locked in, that's it. No more road twos
Mm,
until the final show of that. So when we get to Judgment Day '04, I'll announce what I have next. You announce what you have next. You can tell me off air what you're
yes.
thinking about. Yeah. So we will get to that. So, like I said, coming up, Road to Judgment Day '04. That is our next Road to, again,
Oh,
a great show. We get the underrated tag team
but
of.
hold on a second.
Go ahead.
You haven't mentioned the return of Paul Bearer. Oh yes, my Undertaker's back from the dead, and he's gonna watch Buffy with
The second biggest Buffy fan
me.
on the channel, Tro impersonating Paul Bearer. That's the second biggest Buffy fan on the show, outside of me, obviously.
Fuck
Um,
you, Frank. I love Buffy.
Uh, so Judgment Day '04, that is our next road to. It will feature the one of the more underrated tag teams, Rico and Charlie Haas. They will be taking on. Let me get the DVD here. Hold
Don't
on.
forget Malik
Mordecai, yeah.
Mordecai.
Hold on.
This boy scares me. That boy ain't right.
Yeah, one of the more underrated tag teams, Rico and Charlie Haas taking on a very Billy Gunn and Hardcore Holly, a very random ass tag team match, but an entertaining tag team match because of Rico and Charlie Haas's antics. We have a really good tag team match as well. RVD and Rey Mysterio taking on the Dudley Boys. Undertaker versus Booker T. John Cena versus Rene Dupree. Jacqueline
Bon v
versus
Bon.
Jacqueline versus Sky to Hottie for the cruiserweight title. We have the amazing Tori Wilson taking on Dawn Marie. Mordecai making his debut. Second row two in a row where we have somebody making their debut on pay per view. So Scotty Tuhati will take on Mordecai. And then in your main event, one of the more infamous main events in WWE history, Eddie Guerrero versus JBL, where you just see a pool of blood after that chair shot. The ring literally was a canvas during this main event because there was a hell of a lot of blood on that ring.
Yeah, Eddie cut an artery.
He did, yes. Um, they were handing fans on one side of the ring because after Eddie cut himself open after the chair shot, they went to a certain side of the outside of the ring and like brawled near to the fans, which maybe not the smartest idea to do, but they did that. And they handed fans like towels to wipe off the barricade at that point. So yeah, that it's going to be interesting to talk about that. Outside of that horrible moment where Eddie just cut himself way too deep, that feud, I cannot wait to go over that feud because it was so great, and it got even more great going into Great American Bash, no pun intended. But yeah, that's our next show, Judgment Day 2004. We will get all the um, Paul Bearer. We will get Paul Bearer
Oh
Tro.
yeah, yes.
Yes, we will get a lot of Paul Bearer Tro. And Paul Bearer loving Buffy. We will absolutely get through that to that. But yeah, can't wait for that. So be on the lookout for that. Any more thoughts on Backlash 2002?
The backlash will be felt for about 4 weeks.
So there you go. Thank you to anybody who has watched this. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe and hit the 10 bell salute on that notification bell. By the way, I forgot again. I always forget when it comes to the main event. I always like saying our main event sponsored by. Well, our main event was sponsored by Kestrel GTX,
Yeah.
the sponsor of FCT ENT. That was your sponsor for the main event. And so thank you to everybody who's watched. Please like and subscribe. And again, hit that 10 bell salute on the notifications bell. But when you do that, make sure that your notifications are on when you're done with that. So we will see you again tomorrow. Not tomorrow. We will see you Wednesday when we kick off the road to Judgment Day.